Recently I decided to change things up a bit, so I now have a new space for my office. So let me show you my new and improved setup in 2024, as well as a little room tour. The overall idea of this new space had to be simplicity and organization. You see, the office I had before was outright just a mess, so I really didn't want this office space to become the same. So it was very clear to me that I needed to have it a lot differently this time around. But to be fair, I also didn't have much to work with at the last office. So it kinda made sense that it ended up being a bit of a mess. One great thing about the last office, however, was that it had great sound dampening, which is something that kinda sucks here. So I'll have to find a solution for that in the future, because you can easily hear a lot of echo, which I have to do something about. But this will have to do for now. Not a lot has changed from the last setup, but some things have changed. So let's have a look. Let's start with the PC in the corner here. I absolutely love Mac computers, but I'm also a sucker for getting my money's worth. So a couple of years ago by now, I decided to go ahead and get a pre-built PC from a company called Shark Gaming. Absolutely phenomenal pre-build I got. The only thing I've never liked is the case. But I was a bit cheap back then, and well, I thought that it didn't matter. But now I kind of feel like it actually did. The PC actually has some pretty good specs, but since it's a few years old, it's probably not something I would recommend you to go ahead and get today, since the specs has become a lot better. On top of my PC, I have one of my best investments ever. It's something called a NAS, or Network Attached Storage. Inside there's M.2 NVMe SSDs, but also hard disks. It acts as a big storage device that you can access through your network. So it's a great device to have if you have an in-house team, since everyone can always access the same files all the time. This unit from QNAP, the TVS 672 XT, also has a 10 GB per second Ethernet port. So you can actually import and export files from it extremely fast. And honestly, I actually edit directly off of it most of the time. Most people probably wouldn't recommend that, but I've done it for like a year by now, and it still works great. I at least don't have any issues. It might be a little faster to work off of SSDs directly, but this works for me for now. I actually also have it set up in something called RAID 5, which basically means that if one of the drives fail, I wouldn't lose any data, since it would have saved that data on some of the other drives. Super smart feature you won't be able to get with just a normal external SSD. This RAID system does take away from the storage overall, but then you can just buy some large drives with like 20 terabytes of storage, and you then still have a lot of storage left. So probably the way I would recommend you to set it up as well. It's a great device if you have a lot of footage from high-end cameras like I do. The only downside, in my opinion, is that it's a quite expensive device. So it's not just something you'll buy and not use. And it's actually even more expensive, since you also have to buy drives for it. So you will really have to look at it as an investment. And it's probably not the first investment you'll make. Oh yeah, and the white box on top is just a switch for the Ethernet connection. I have it set up through the 10 GB per second ports. The monitors I use are a pair of 32-inch U3223QE monitors from Dell. They're 4K IPS panels with a 60Hz refresh rate. I do a lot of color work, and that's why they're great, since they have 98% DCI-P3 and great blacks with contrast ratio of 2000:1. I would have loved to have something like a 120Hz display, but that would mainly be for gaming, which I actually don't do that much on my PC anymore. But there's a reason for that, and we'll get into that later. 32-inch is also quite big for a gaming monitor, so it's fine that it's only for work-related stuff. If you love HDR or have to color HDR, these monitors probably ain't the best, since they only have HDR 400, which basically isn't to the standard which a lot of colorists are expecting the monitors to be at. But it's fine for me. There's two features about these monitors which I absolutely love though, and that is that you have the ability to only insert a single DisplayPort or USB-C cable into the back of the monitor for it to work, since it's possible to chain them together. What then happens when you do that is that you now have the ability to get both monitors up and running through a single cable, either DisplayPort or USB-C. This is super great if you use a laptop, since you can get everything connected through only a single cable. And what's even better is that the USB-C cable has a 90-watt power output, so you can easily also charge your laptop while it's connected. So absolutely great feature. The second absolutely phenomenal feature is that it has a USB hub at the back of the monitor. So if you have to connect a lot of devices to your PC, you can easily do that through the back of the display. So that's also a great feature. So I pretty much always have a lot of stuff connected to the back of my monitor, and then when I come home I can easily just drop off some files to my external SSD and then just switch to my desktop PC, and then the external SSD also switches. Like, it's super convenient. Great monitors, highly recommended. For the longest time I've used a Go XLR together with the Biodynamic DT990 Pro headphones, but a few months ago SteelSeries released a new version of their SteelSeries Arctis Nova Pro wireless headphones. Though there isn't that many upgrades in this new revamped 2024 version, I never tried the previous version, so I was kinda intrigued by them. At first I kinda went back and forth, simply because I like the open back feature from the DT990 Pros a lot more. But one day I kinda just picked up the SteelSeries headset and I didn't look back again. One of the reasons these headphones SteelSeries have made here are so good is because of the battery swapping feature. Because it always has a battery charged fully up and available in the base station that comes with the headphones or headset. It's probably more a headset. But that feature alone is probably the biggest reason why I switched. Sound-wise, I still think that the DT990 Pros are better, but it's probably because I'm so used to them, and it's maybe just because I haven't tuned these SteelSeries Arctis Nova Pro to the right preset. But I actually don't know. One feature I will say that I got super annoyed about was the Sonar app, which SteelSeries have made. So I've just completely uninstalled it for now, because it always bugged for me, or it suddenly just made some weird changes and sometimes it completely interfered with the sound, so nothing came through. So though I kinda liked it in my initial review, I've actually come to a point where I just didn't want to deal with it anymore, so I just uninstalled it completely. But apart from the app being buggy, I do really like the design, sound and features it has. And that's why it's my main headphones for my PC setup right now. A lot of the accessories I have with me out the door, like my phone, Apple Watch and some earbuds, all needs charging, which happens on this Satechi Trio wireless charger with a magnetic pad. It's by no means the best on the market, but it's nice to only have to connect a single cable and then being able to charge all three devices simultaneously. I also like that it's so sleek and minimal to the table, but I would have liked for them to have changed up the wide watch pad, but I've mentioned that before in another video. The keyboard I'm using right now is just a low profile, full-size productivity keyboard from Dell. It has support for up to 3 connections via either the USB-A dongle or Bluetooth. Apart from that, there's nothing special about it, so yeah. I'm also kinda switching keyboard from time to time, so some days I like productivity keyboards more, and at other times I like mechanical keyboards more. It's very dependent on the day and the situation. But for the most part, it's just this boring Dell keyboard. The mouse I'm using is a mouse I've been using for about 3 years, and I have no intention on getting rid of it anytime soon, since it's just so good. People that have seen my other videos do know that it's the Logitech MX Master 3. It's an absolutely phenomenal ergonomic mouse with a sideways scroll wheel for scrolling timelines or just sideways on a website. It has a scroll wheel with an infinity scroll feature, so you can easily go to the bottom of the page just by giving it a flick. Going forward and backwards are also super easy because of the two buttons on the side. And if you need to switch between other virtual desktops, it's also super simple because of the thumb button. You can of course also switch the DPI through the button on the top. And if you need to connect it to other computers, you can also do so through the button underneath. Here you can connect it either through Bluetooth or a wireless receiver. In my opinion, this is still the best productivity mouse on the market. The mousepad is from Glorious Gaming and is their XXL version, so it's just super large. The reason I never game on my PC anymore is simply because of this device. This is ASUS's latest and greatest handheld gaming PC, the ASUS ROG Ally X. It's a complete PC running Windows 11, so any launcher or any game you want to download, you can. This is, in my opinion, how a handheld gaming device should be. I mostly use it for when I go somewhere or if I just need to relax a bit. It actually runs games extremely well. I've at least been very pleasantly surprised. Since my skills regarding using a controller isn't that great anymore, then playing FPS games is something I completely steer clear of. So it's mostly adventure or story-based games I play on the device. So I can't say how the FPS experience is, but it's probably great, just not for a noob like me. It has been a very nice addition to my setup and definitely something I'm gonna keep using a lot in the future. So also highly recommended. The table I have here is just a standard IKEA table that has a standing desk functionality where you can lower and raise it. Nothing about it is super premium, and it also flexes quite a bit from the gas arm that's attached to my monitors, but it gets the job done, and that's what's important. On the table I also have some minor accessories like this CF Express Type A card reader, which I use for my cameras, and then I also have this Stream Deck, which really isn't useful at all as of right now. I have to put in some actions, but I just haven't taken the time to set it up properly. So I'll just have to adjust that. Now let's move away from my desk setup. Back here I have a Google Nest Mini, which is used for very basic stuff like playing music, getting a weather report and stuff like that. I used to use it as a controller for my lights, but I just haven't set it up here in that regards yet. So that's also something I need to do. I never use my ceiling lights at all, and the reason for that is because of this big softbox and all of this ambient light. So let's go through it one at a time. This right here is the only lamp with a softbox I own, and it's only for very few projects where I feel like I need a stronger light. I mainly use this light as my key light for projects. The lamp is a Amaran 200D S version. The S is because I live in Europe and all our light run at a 50 Hz connection and not at 60 Hz, like it does in the US. So it's just to avoid light flickering. It has a power output of 200 watts and can only output natural daylight at 5600 Kelvin. It has an on-off button on the back together with a dial to adjust the intensity of the light. But you can also connect it up to the Sidus Link app and control the output there, which can be quite handy since you don't need to go up to it to adjust the intensity. Screwed in front I have an Aperture Light Dome 3, which is a quite large light dome that can spill the light quite well. Most of the time I use it with the grid attached, simply because it becomes a bit more directed towards my talent sitting in front of it, which is the most useful most of the time. I also often use it for my own content here, and I also often don't want it to spill everywhere. But it's easy to take on or off, so if I need the light to be spilled more on the objects, it can easily be done just by taking off the grid, which is connected by Velcro. The ambient light I have consists of two Philips Hue play lights showcasing my camera gear. and a 5 meters long outdoor light strip from Philips Hue. Then I have a generic bed lamp connected to a Philips Hue plug, so it also can be controlled through the Philips Hue app. And the last light strip I have behind the sofa is a light strip from Twinkly, but it's an RGB light strip. So I've had a bit of a hard time finding the right hue for the light to match the rest of the ambience. Twinkly's lights are also a bit more unique, since you can map it to do all kinds of crazy effects. So for other purposes they are great. I just haven't found the perfect solution for how I'm gonna use it yet. Okay, now let me take you on a tour. Okay, so basically over here I have all my gear and boxes for gear. Then I have some camera gear in these compartments here, and then I have some more tech gear down here. And over here I also have some clothes, not all my clothes, just something so it's easy to walk out the door. I'm considering whether I should put up some more clothes on these hangers right here, simply because it would dampen the sound, which it's still quite echoey, and that would probably help with that. So yeah, but let's take a look over here. All the way at the top I have 2 pairs of over-ear headphones, if I can just get them here. Some Skullcandy Crusher ANC2 and some Bowers & Wilkins PX7 SE. Great pairs of headphones, but I don't use them daily, so they're just stored away up here. Then I have some 4 pairs of keyboards, which I've shown before. This is the Asus ROG Azoth 75%. Great keyboard with a lot of connectivity. And the next one on the line is Glorious GMMK Pro, which is kind of like a pre-built custom keyboard. Or at least it is a custom keyboard. It's just way easier since you just only have to insert the keycaps. So it's a nice one. Then I have like an old Asus ROG, I don't know, Claymore, I think it's called, yeah, Claymore. And then and then at the bottom we have the Logitech G915 10 keyless keyboard, which is a low profile keyboard. Then we have the box for my Sony FX3, which I'm recording on right now. And then I have, this is like a mini softbox thing for a portable light from Zhiyuns. This light I always use on projects where I have to like walk to a lot of places, because it's so portable, so it's super easy to just pull this one out and then put on the back, and then yeah, it just works great for like a portable setup. I actually have another one just standing right here. This is also a light from Zhiyuns. They are extremely powerful, extremely bright. It's only at like 50% now, so if I just turn it up, it gets really goddamn bright. Highly recommend it. On these 3 shelves, I also just have some boxes for a lot of stuff. Up here I have kind of organized it for like tech products, so, not like tech product, but more like gaming focused things, more like Rock Ally, like the Glorious keyboard, some other keyboards, some audio equipment and stuff like that. Down here I have like my photo camera gear, drones, etc. Like the DJI Neo in here, like the Portkeys monitor, which I also have connected to my FX3 camera. Like I have my big bad boy, which I have connected to this one, the 70 to 200 millimeter f2.8. Great lens, use it for a lot of photos. Down here I have more tech focused things like audio equipment, like we're talking headphones, earphones, stuff like that. And then we have this limited edition Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Skullcandy collab, which I absolutely love. This is something that Skullcandy sent me like a year ago, I think by now. Great collab. I never used the headphones, but I was a huge Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles fan when I was a child. So it's amazing to have something that I loved as a child have a collab with something I love right now, because these headphones from Skullcandy, amazing pair of headphones. Down here I have a camera bag and a bag for my Aperture or Amaran light. This is for like the softbox light dome 3 actually. Then on top of here I usually have like my camera gear and the camera gear I use most often. Here I have my ND filter for the camera I'm using right now. The Nisi ND filter, True Color I think it's called. Then I have a lot of battery stations. This is for the monitor. Here it's for like my cameras, my Sony cameras, which I also have a Sony a7 IV right here. This is mainly used for photos. And then I have like a quick mounting plate from SmallRig. This is something I'm gonna talk about in an upcoming video, because this is just amazing. As mentioned, I also have a 70-200mm f2.8 lens on. Great lens, great for compression. Yeah, just phenomenal lens. I also have a review on that on my page, so I'll leave a link right there somewhere, I think. And then it's just the back for the 70-200. Then I also have a gimbal, the RS3 from DJI. I don't use it that often actually, because I don't like the look. It's just too smooth too much of the time, so Handheld is just way better and it looks more professional in my opinion. This is also from the Hawklock series, this quick release plate. Then I also have this ECM B1M microphone for Sony cameras. I can just show you how it works. It's basically when you insert it like this right here, and then the audio just kind of works straight away. This one I mainly use for like my social content for vertical stuff. Down here I have some drones and some light equipment. Right here is where the big light I showed you before that was standing in the middle of everything lives usually. This is for my Amaran light. Then we have the RCN3 controller and the RC2 controller right there for the DJI Mini 4 Pro drone. And this is for the DJI Neo, because I have the combo packs for both of these drones. And this is the bag for that. And then we have down here the DaVinci Resolve. I don't know, it's called the editor something, speed editor I think it's called. And of course we have some batteries for the Neo. Great drone. I also have review for all of these products on my page. In this top drawer right here I have all my camera gear. Here I have the newest release, the newest action camera, the DJI Action 5 Pro. Amazing action camera. Right now I basically only use it on my mountain bike because I have like this attachment right here. And then I also sometimes put on my foot from the gimbal on the bottom of this pole. So that's amazing. Then I have a few lenses, the kit lens for the Sony a7 IV. Then I have some camera straps. Then I have a Samyang 24mm small lens with an ND filter on from Nisi as well. Then I have the vertical grip for the Sony a7 IV. Some batteries for the action camera. The DJI Mic 1s. Insta360 Go 3. Great little camera that you can detach, and it's magnetic, so you can easily just put it up all kinds of crazy places. I don't have anything that's magnetic here. Anything that's magnetic you can put it on right there as an example, and then you can just kind of record. Then I have this Joby Gorilla Pod. I thought it was cool at first, but I kind of never used it. Yeah, stupid idea. Then some cleaning gear from Zeiss, and some extra propellers, some, I don't know what these are called. And then I have some spider checkers here for getting the correct exposure and colors. This one is for photos and the other one is for videos. Next drawer. Down here I have all my kind of tech gear. The Go XLR, which I mentioned that I used to use. The DT990 Pros, numpad, the Shure SM7B microphone, great microphone. Then I have a mobile router, but I don't use it that often. So it just stays down here. Then we have the UpSpot Tiny 2 camera, which can track you. It has like AI built in, great little device. Then we have the Asus ROG Rock Harp Ace, I think it's called. Then we have the Logitech G Pro X Superlight, also a great mouse. And some cables and a lot of headphones. Earphones actually, earbuds. Denon Pearl Pros, AirPod Pros, the Asus, I don't know what they're called, Speed Novas, yep. The Shocks Air something, OpenFit Air, and Skull Candies. Yeah, I actually don't know what these are called. Some Skull Candy headphones. And Antlions Kimura Duo, which is like a pair of IEMs that's made for gaming. So if you hate having a big bump on top of your head, you can easily get these ones. They sound great. Great alternative for a gaming headset. Yeah. But I use a gaming headset, so it kind of defeats the purpose for me. Then on the bottom, I just basically have a lot of cables, a lot of chargers, a few mouse pads. Yeah. Basically just charging equipment. Then over here I basically have clothes on top, but I'm not gonna show you that. And you also probably don't care. But here I have like a lot of miscellaneous gears. I have like a teleprompter, old phones you can see. I actually still use this phone because I use it in the teleprompter. Then we have like this one, which is for phones, a tripod and a selfie stick. Great little equipment if you film with your phone. And then I have a lot of brackets and stuff like that. So nothing too special. And these are empty. And over here I also have like a lot of miscellaneous stuff. Yes. This was all I had for you today. I hope you like the setup as much as I actually do. It's way more convenient now, way more organized. And it's also a little bit more clutter-free, which I absolutely love. So drop a comment below, let me know what you think about the space. And as always, I would highly appreciate if you help me out with the algorithm by dropping a like and subscribing to my channel. We are so close to the 1000 by now, so it would really mean a lot to me if you could subscribe to my channel. See you in the next one. I'm out.